Hello, friends. We are gonna go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and turn on over here and make sure we're on at Instagram. And we are. We are live on Instagram and we are live on YouTube. If you don't know me by now, my name is Gabriel Stockton. We do these watercolor Wednesdays. I have this upcoming workshop with Cheap Joe's. The deadline to sign up is February 4th. And what we'll do is, or what we're doing today is, sorry, we are doing tonal paper. Okay? And to do this going and alright. For some reason, I'm a little frozen. One moment. Let me see what's going on here. Do. Alright, camera. Hopefully we unfreeze here because I want to show you this tonal paper that I just got with We'll try starting this camera again. Thank you for your patience. Technology is a blessing, right? And we will turn it right back on. To roll. All right, we are on. So thank you so much for your patience. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me a heart if you have visuals. Let me know in the comments if you are new here. I have the comments turned on. Adam's already on here. All right. As someone who has to give a live demos for my real job, I feel your pain. Oh, thank you so much, Adam. And Nico figured red number 1. Right on, right on. And Debbie's here. Debbie's one of my students. So we have this upcoming workshop. If you want to know more, go right here, Gabriel Stockton, fineart.com. My other local classes here in San Diego, and I teach watercolor. Hey, Doc Day, good to see you here. And the other thing is there is now a prints option. So if you go over there, you'll see a prints tab at the top over in this area of the website. Chuck Davis, glad to have you here. And all right. Well, today we're going to look at this tone paper. Now, I did show you guys yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday. Last week. Holy cow. There's 2 of them. So, the wonderful people over at Cheap Joe's sent this paper. So, Daniel Smith, who I'm a brand ambassador with, you all know, has sent me all their gouache to work with, and I remember doing gouache on cardboard, and we just banged out a whole bunch of paintings in gouache on cardboard. Well, my art's a lot better than in college, and what I want to paint is on some good archival paper. So this is watercolor paper. It does have a slight tooth on it. You could paint on smooth. What I like here is the size. And so typically gouache paintings are done at a smaller size. Now I have a couple of examples. Maybe if you've already seen this one, but some of you don't follow me on the Instagram, but I did this painting last week on a live with Daniel Smith, and this is that paper. This though is watercolor. This is it is hematite violet. Okay, so hematite is a stone that's been grounded up, so it's got a purpley like color to it. Sorry for the glare. You can see my up my nose in the in the reflection. But yeah, so watercolor, but it's got some little gouaches in there, all right? Let's look at some other stuff. Just before I came on, I thought I'd give my hand at a little barn. This is about, even though I signed it, this is about 95% done. I'm thinking I'll put another little tree over here on this side and develop this tree a little bit more. There's some windows in here. I just, yeah, I want, I had seen this other cool picture that I just had to paint. And let me show it to you. And it's this. If you ever been to Italy, you probably have seen these. So this is gouache at its finest. I mean, not at its finest, but this is what you can do with gouache. And how cool is that, right? It's got that nice buttery look, like oil paint. It's a little more sexier, my own opinion, of bump 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 like acrylics. Um, but what's in this? So check it out. And I see a question there, and I'll get to it in just 2 seconds. So let me grab a watercolor tube. So I know these aren't the exact same colors. So this is watercolor. Bum bum bum. And this is gouache. And I apologize. I'm not sure why I'm frozen. So let's see what's going on here. Bump, bump, bump. I'll try this again. Wow. All right. What if we do this? We will go to settings and we will just do this for a second since I'm just talking, right? Dum bum bum. Oh, of course, the camera. I put a blur on there. Okay, my bad. All right, hold on. Invite a guest. Someone's trying to invite themselves. I'm not quite sure how to do that. We're not going to do that today. Soon, soon. That actually is a good segue into what I want to tell you. We've got some more podcast stuff coming up. I just got done interviewing some wonderful peeps. Oh, look. Okay. Yes, we're back on. Okay. Back to what I was saying. All 8 of you that are being so patient with me. So, this is a regular watercolor tube, right? And then in my other hand, Daniel Smith has made the permanent green. They've made now several tubes, right? And of course, it unfroze and froze back. Let's try this again. So, bum bum bum. Nope. I'm so sorry. Let's try this guy. Hey! Wow. Can you see me now? I'm chit-chatting it up. Bum bum bum. This is fun today, right? Alright, so check it out. Whoa! We've got a virtual background that's just not working. Check it out. See these two tubes of paint? So they have the same binder in them, which is gum arabic. Alright? And the only thing different is one is transparent and one is opaque. Okay? Let's see if this camera is gonna work. Man, I have not had this many problems before. I wonder if it's because I'm trying to do the Insta. Bum, bum, bum. We might just have to tell Insta peace out. Okay. Anyways. So this painting looks really nice done in the gouache because it's got that really gorgeous opaque look. Okay. Let's look at these questions. Why are gouache paints typically smaller than watercolor? That is a good question, Chuck. Could you put in the chat over there, Chuck, what brand you're using? So all the Daniel Smith ones right now are the same size as watercolor. Maybe some other companies are making smaller ones. Technology is almost as frustrating as watercolor. Oh no! Alright, let's get on with the program. Keep the questions coming. I appreciate the questions. Feels like I'm not just hanging out with myself. Alright, so today's topic is not a barn. We're gonna get in here and I got this cool little piece. John Calgary is he is CEO of Daniel Smith, and we have a cool little thread where we all like chit chat. And he was posting some photos of leaving Scotland, and then somewhere between there and Germany. So maybe you will know this place that I'm gonna paint. I haven't personally been there, and since this is Watercolor Wednesday, it's all about getting some painting done. Not necessarily has to be my photograph, but I just really like the architecture, and I'll show you. So let me pull it right here on my phone. And this is it. I'm just going to do a little sliver of this little scene. Okay. And we're going to use the tonal paper. All right. And we're using the gouache. So check it out. I'm going to get in here. And right away, I like this building that's here. It's this nice roof. And then I'm looking at how things are like relational. Okay. And this will give you a feel for if maybe you want to take my workshop with Cheap Joe's. Doing this live kind of gives you a good feeling of, how I paint. And you'll be able to ask me a lot more questions because we're going to be spending 3 days together. The cool thing about this wonderful uh, workshop that's coming up is we'll be able to see each other. We don't really get to see each other on here. So we've got this roof here, and then this comes down like that. This comes down like this, right? This comes here. This lovely thing's right there. And then this comes down, right? Like this. And this is going to kick up in here and back. This is another little roof. I'm going to end it there. Okay. Your gouache, this can, with your drawings for the gouache, can be really nice and loose. Okay. So don't think you have to be a drawing expert per se. You can give yourself some wonderful grace. Art is already hard enough, so no need to like beat yourself up over a bunch of spilled paint or dipping your own paintbrush in your own beverage, right? So we got some windows. There's this thing over here, and then there's another chimney kind of thing back there, but it's just, some of my drawing and painting that comes along my journey, it really is ambiance. There's got to be some like ambiance in my painting. It's not necessarily everybody is trying to get my attention. Okay? Yeah, we got some comments up in here. I thought I heard you say earlier this evening that gouache paints are typically smaller watercolor paints. Paintings. Yes. Watercolor, or sorry, yes, gouache paintings. I'm so glad. I might not have heard. No, you did hear me correctly. The people that I kind of admire their gouache paintings, they really only paint in these like sketchbooks, yo. And half of their stuff doesn't even make it into a gallery. And there's a lot of wonderful people out there. Now, gouache was designed so that it can photograph well. Okay, and there used to be some really cool illustrators. Here's a clock right here. I'm not sure what time it is there, but we're gonna probably do 4 o'clock because that's what time we always do watercolor Wednesday. So put that there, and that actually works because look, it's pointing at that building. Anyway, so remember all the cool 80s movie posters and such? There was like Gremlins and Indiana Jones, a whole bunch of those cool things, right? A whole bunch of cool movies out there. Star Wars. Some of those wonderful movie posters were done in gouache because they would photograph well. The reason why I said typically these are small paintings, it's because it's really buttery. Like you can paint larger. I just typically I know you gotta choose your battles, I personally am not showing any of my gouache work in galleries right now. Um Still working on mastering watercolor, And so look at this drawing. It's real nice and lovely. I'm gonna get rid of that banner. We all know who's here, right? So we'll kill the banner. And so there we go. We got our lovely drawing. Now let's look. I've got some colors here prepared. Okay. These were the first colors that came out with the Daniel Smith wash, except for these two. This is the Cobalt Turquoise and Moon Glow. Okay. And I'll come back over here. Now there's a whole bunch more. Hey, we've got some more comments here. Sally says, hello from Brookshire County, Massachusetts. I have never used tonal watercolor paper. I'm interested in seeing this happen, and I'm used to saving my whites. Very nice. Now, you can do something very similar where you're saving not just white, but you're saving these areas are nice and warm, especially since this is like a warm color in this background, right? Bum, bum, bum. And so what we're gonna do is, hey, we got more questions here. Artie Ross says, I took the tape off my last watercolor painting, and now the tape adhesive around the border. Has ever happened to you? If so, how do you remove it? What did I miss? I took the tape off my last watercolor painting, and now I have tape adhesive around the border. Oh, snap. Well, you might have left it too long on the painting. Okay, I wouldn't leave the tape on there longer than like a week. I'd probably switch it out. And once you get a matte, it should cover it up, right? It's hard not to be able to see it and tell you. Nico, we got a question here from Nico. What was the biggest tip or technique that took your art to the next level other than consistent practice, of course? LOL. Oh my gosh, that's a super good question. You know, boy, this camera's being fussy today, huh? You know, it's tricky. It's uber tricky. And question you're asking, there was a great question that's coming out in next week's podcast, and it was actually noticing that I was already being prepped for watercolor in the things that I did as a kid. So, for instance, I took martial arts. So, in the martial arts I did, it was called Goju, meaning hard and soft. Okay, Nico? And so there was times that the 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 confidence was there. Okay, I had the confidence in myself when I did the martial arts, and I got like different belts and whatnot. And you know, uh, when I started doing art again, and I started arting, uh, I forgot I had confidence, and I was very unsure of myself, and I was kind of like hard with my critical brain. And then I just had to remember, like, I had to remember there was a time that I was uber confident and that I just never gave up. With martial arts, I would be sore, I'd get my butt kicked, all kinds of different experiences with my martial arts, and I would still show up. And the same thing with art and watercolor. You know, you've got to somehow just know that you're not going to give up. You're going to keep painting, and you're going to find out that if you really want it, you're going to just be uber hungry to just keep going. I love this bracelet. If you ever seen this, it says "You matter," and the other side says "Don't give up." This comes from a group that some parents got together, and a couple of the founding parents lost their children to suicide, and now they hand out these bracelets to people to keep encouraging them not to give up. And I'll tell you what, it's hard being an artist. You have to build up so much fortitude. Well, I don't want to give away the podcast that's coming next week. The interview that I did this morning with David, and I'm looking forward to you getting to watch and hear that. It's very encouraging, and so you'll be able to get some more of what I'm doing again. But there wasn't one particular thing other than little high fives here and there, yo. I remember like, hey, I'm actually painting something I wanted to paint when I was a kid. And I remember going actually to this place. It's right here. Wind and Sea. This is a demo for my beginning students. This was from last night's class. And this place here in San Diego, I had seen it painted by a whole bunch of different other artists. And I said, man, I can't wait till I get to paint that. I'm going to really enjoy painting that someday. All right, we've got Coach Lance here. Glad to see you, buddy. And just got home. That's wonderful. Look forward to hearing about tonal paper. Yeah, you know, it's a game changer. And with tonal paper, we're not seeing a whole bunch of it, but I have little bits and pieces of the tonal paper like coming through here. And I'm kind of enjoying the process. There's parts of my painting that you guys have heard me talk about in the past where I try to have nice buttery things going on in my paintings that look like other styles, well, other mediums of paint. So I'm doing some dry brushing right now. And this dry brushing is letting that nice texture come through. All right, what we got here? Really helpful answer. Thanks, Gabriel. You're welcome, Nico. And I'm assuming you're using gouache. Yes. I'm gonna do some watercolor next week on the gray. All right. Man, this camera's fussy, huh? I am so sorry. Bum bum bum. Let's see what's going on. We'll switch. And we'll switch back. Hopefully we're back on. Alright. We are back in the saddle. Alright, so we've got some wonderful little textures going on in here. And let's go ahead and build this wonderful thing in here. Now, you don't need to put a whole bunch of details in shadowed areas. What we're looking for, though, is a little bit of variation. Okay? So when I'm painting something such as this, you don't need to keep going over it. Okay? And it's been really fun to see some of you going live and doing some lives on Facebook, and some of you have been doing lives on Instagram, and I'm really happy to see that you're stepping out and sharing. People really need to be encouraged at this time. That is part of your disposition as an artist, is to encourage others. Now, one little trick here, I can use that texture of the paper. I see some more questions. I'll go right to you in one sec. But I'm going to do a little bit of dry brush and right in here with a little bit of texture along that rim. You see that? Now this turns downward into a darker color. And here we go with some texture right in here. But there's not a bunch of detail. Okay, there's a difference between the texture and the detail. And bum bum bum. Alright, we got another great question. I love tonal paper, but I can't seem to find cotton alternative to Strathmore tan, a middle cream color. I tried Stonehenge, but they are either too light or too dark. Wow. Yeah, Lewin. Keep searching. I know Fabiano, they have also they have tonal watercolor paper. You might want to look into it. Bum bum bum. And here we're back again. This is too funny. All right, we got Claudia. Hey, and we can see Claudia over there. Hi, Gabriel. I just found your IG account a couple of days ago. I'm also in San Diego. I'm a calligrapher, and I have been exploring with watercolor, other mediums lately. So glad I found your channel. Hey, Claudia, I'm glad you're here. What I would suggest, Claudia, is there's a whole bunch of shorts, like short videos, and what you can do is check out those shorts. There's some longer videos that I've made, Claudia, that have like do 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 they have like color wheel, and they talk about the different types and parts of these brushes. Okay, and I teach here locally, so we start back up another class at Art on 30th over in the North Park area here in San Diego, and you're welcome to come join us. We are a great place, especially for women, to find a cool place to just kind of meet other people who are on the new journey. So I'm so glad you found me. I also have a studio over in Spanish Village Art Center. A little bit of dry brushing down in here. Look at that. Very nice. So I'm going. Bum, bum, bum. We got Luick saying thanks. I'll look up Fabiano. And yeah, whatever you get, fine, share it back here again. And Claudia says, awesome. I'll check it out. Right on. Bump, bump, bump. The class is also Tuesday nights from 6 to 9. And the wonderful thing is, it's probably the best. I mean, it's a kind of a treat for locals. Is It's only like $200. You get to hang out with me. Really affordable. I'm gonna make this darker right in here. So we're typically doing watercolor, and I was waiting for someone to say, I thought this was a watercolor Wednesday. This is a water medium, and Daniel Smith is all about this action of using this, and it's very similar because it has the same binder. And gum arabic is that same stuff that is in your candy canes. That's gum arabic, but that does not mean that I said that you can eat your paint. So stay safe. I'm putting some moon glow over some of these areas to cool them down and make them a little more like shade. Okay. But this is just in the foreground. This is not the star of the show. This is just ambiance. Now, let's get over here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this square brush. Now, the difference between a square and a filbert is I do shorter strokes. This is designed to do shorter strokes and to cut in. Okay, so we're gonna get in here and get some of this, and it's really nice. I could just cut in here like so, boop, like that. And the thing is not to control this. Okay, you don't want to control the process. We're going to use some of this texture. I have very little water right now. I am using lots and lots of paint because, okay, I want to start seeing some dry brushing. See that? This lovely dry brushing? This is where I'm going to create more visual stimuli. Like, I'm getting you to look here at this building more than this one, okay? I might even quiet that down. The clock arms. I'll come back with another brush. All right. Chuck Davis, are you using a reference photo? I am, Chuck, and that's this right here. Good friend and John Calgary. Calgary. Sorry, I have cough drop in my mouth. Took this photo on his current trip, and yeah, I did not get his permission, but John is such a super caring dude. I'm pretty sure he would be pretty stoked and be just fine that I used it for this experience. And don't sweat it about copyright and all that stuff, because this is not going into a competition. See, this is going to get thicker and cooler. I added some blue. See that? Now, you can do this with a round brush, and I know some of you are going, I bought all those round brushes, Gabriel, because you're always using round brushes, and that's fine. Like, the only reason I even have this brush, friends, is because my good friend who makes all my brushes from Escoda made me this special brush. So my daughter, who is 15, had a makeup brush, and you could tell it was an Escoda because it didn't have the 3 signature crimps right here. Okay, a little story about Escoda. They're one of my sponsors, and we'll put their logo up. Bum, bum, bum. Right here. Escoda, that's how you spell it. I met and they came out and we did a demo together. I helped with translating English and whatnot. And the funny thing was, Joseph Escoda, the grandson, my friend, saw this brush I had that was my daughter's. Uh, her makeup brush. He said, "Gabriel, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a makeup brush. It's my daughter's." He's like, "I'm going to make you a better one." And if you don't know the story of how I met those guys, there is an interview that I did, and we talk about their brushes in the podcast, and so you could check that out. All right, so we got this little action going on here, right? And this is coming like that. And I painted over some of the tape because I want a nice clean edge when I pull this up. All right, I'll go back over here to the comments. And Nico, can you mix colors and gouache, or do you use them as they come in the tube? I'm always mixing. I'm a mixer through and through. What you don't see on camera, and I could probably put it on camera, is this. All right. I could do some mixing. You don't have to have a palette. A butcher tray would work too. This is a little thing that clips on to the Eric's plein air easel. I've shown that. There's a video on the Ericsson plein air easel where you don't even have to use tape to tape down your painting. So what you don't see is me over here maybe grabbing a little bit of this, okay? And so, sorry, I don't have everything on camera. And that is the joy about taking a workshop with me, is you get to see everything when I'm doing the workshop. Doc Holiday could tell you. She's been in my workshops, and so has our good friend Coach Lance. And look, we're gonna get this roof in here like this, and some dry brushing going on in there. So leaving some light, just like watercolor. Look at that. And some wonderful stuff there. So it's gonna come here. But yes, I am mixing off to the side a little bit here and there, and you do see me busting out some of these straight out of here too. So thanks for asking. I was being sneaky. Haha. All right, and Doc says brilliant, very entertaining, excellent feedback, recommended. Doc is yeah, thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. I did ask you to bust out a reference. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna get in here, and I'm also kind of like little dab you'll do you of a little bit out. Sometimes another friend of mine, Craig Anderson, watercolors guy. He paints old school. He puts loads one corner with one color and another color on the other and it's kind of a cool little effect. Now I'm gonna show you too is what I like with the gouache is I can right away put like a nice little dab of a color on here. Okay, so with the gouache I can actually stack paint on top. Okay, so don't be afraid to mess up. You can easily correct things with this medium. I do have some water and a paper towel that I'm rinsing off with. All right. Thank you so much. Good question. Bum, bum, bum. And Nico, I will definitely take the Zoom workshop once my next trimester in the university is over. The workshop is let me pull that back up real quick. Bum, bum, bum. Here it is. So the sign up deadline is February 14th, and the actual class is February 12th, 13th. We take a day off and come back on the 15th. Now, these are only half days, that's why it's only 265. We are painting boats in the harbor. And so that is going to be recorded. So if you can't attend all the days, it's okay. We had two people last year or last fall. They only can attend one class, and then they worked off of the bum 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 the videos, recordings. Anywho, so yeah, whatever works for you. Like, but we'd love to have you. It's always a good time. And let's put this little shadow that's right here. And it's got to go a little bit darker. And then the shadow comes back down like this. And there's a little shadow underneath here, like that. And then we're going to move into this section here. This is going to come down. The wonderful thing about these gouaches is, and the tonal paper I've noticed, is that I can allow myself to build up the surface. I think if there's any one thing too that you should know about arting is you can pretty much keep working on the piece. You don't have to get it all right on that first time. Like for instance, this buff titanium comes pretty darn close. So look, that light actually comes down a little bit more. And see how that is working? That looks quite nice. See that? I can even bring that. It's actually helping me look up at the actual screen. That's quite funny. All right, so look, I could even touch this here and there, and I'm happy with that. Let's get a little bit darker under here. Build some of this right in there. Nice. I definitely do feel like that my gouache does not have to look just like my watercolors. I almost want them to kind of look more imaginative, if you don't mind me saying. Um, I am looking for my actual somewhere around here. Here we go. Here's a gouache piece started with watercolor, and then it's finished with gouache. Do you see that? This is a lovely scene. They're in Venice. All right, and it has more like some nice imagination to it. All right. And here's some other gouache paintings I've done recently. If you follow me on the Instagram or Facebook, these ones are quite fun. This was an actual plein air painting. This little scuba thing is out in front of this like oceanside scuba deal. And then we have this wonderful tractor that reminded me of a robot. Isn't that a hoot? This is gouache. This is what you can do. Okay, so not all the time, uh, you know, I think you can have fun with this medium. And this is a sketchbook, Kilimanjaro's sketchbook. And this is all watercolor paper in here. Okay. This is totally affordable. If you're looking for watercolor paper that's affordable, Kilimanjaro by Cheap Joe's. Okay. All right. Let's make a little texture right in here. All right. For fun, I'm gonna bust out this long round, and we're gonna get into some lavender. Some of you know I like the lavender. Bum bum bum. Hey, you're right, Doc. Doc says you will laugh a lot. You know, I have learned with watercolor, laughing is so highly rated. You will laugh a lot. I like to laugh. I'm a big kidder. I'm a big kid, and I like to say funny things. And so this is true. There's this little thing right in here. I probably won't get all into it. I'm gonna just put a little bit of grit, a little bit of reflected something here and in here. This is intuitive painting. This is probably the hardest one to teach. Look at that. Now, you couldn't do this with watercolor. You could not get this lavender to do that on like a watercolor. So that's the nice thing about painting with these opaques, is that you can do some of those. All right, let's look at this background because something back there's got to happen really quick. And our time is almost up. Holy cow. So I noticed last week, since I didn't end on time, this did not post on Instagram. So I have to end, sadly, on time today. Look at this. We're going to knock that out. Just come on down like this. See that? Now, but this is in the shadows too. This. But we've got to get in here. And here. I've got to make these look like they have some distance. So that's a little dark, but I can add a little water to it. Okay? You can't ruin this painting. It's just not possible. Now, you do need to learn how to step away though. And we will be talking about that hugely in the class coming up. So this is going to come over here, and this has these little things right in here. We've got some of those up here too, right? Boom, 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 like that. Nice. This is called calligraphy, and I'd like to see some more of this in your work, Coach Lance. I'd like to see some more calligraphy in your paintings. I've been looking at your work, and I'll be able to give you more critique. I know you're signed up for the workshop. All right, so look at that. Now we're starting to get a nice little feel here. Let me bump up the camera. Hey, and there's 15 of you that haven't said hello. What gives? So, someone was talking about tape, and I know some of you are new here. So this is what I do. This is a fairly wet painting. I pull away. Okay, you've got to pull away from the actual surface. Okay, the opposite of that, the wrong way, is to pull inward. If I pull inward, and if there's a wet spot, it's going to rip my painting. So I'm either keep it close, okay, or pull outward like that. Now, the tendency is, hey, I'm not necessarily ready to like throw this in my backpack. So what I'll do is tear this like that. So I have some on the corners. Can you see this? Alright, and then down here, what I'll do is I'll take this little thing here and then put my finger and pull that piece off. And now we've got this stain on the corners. Okay? And so what I'm gonna do real quick is before I go, there was a couple more questions. And I definitely want to put that clock in. And let's see what was the other question. Does gouache dry very quickly? Yes and no. It's not like acrylic. It's a lot more it's a little more buttery, okay? And see, this has a nice little cover that goes onto this. All right. And so it does not dry super fast. Now, yeah, if you're in the Mojave Desert, that might be a problem. Okay. Bum bum bum. Great thoughts. I appreciate it. You are welcome, brother. Hello from New York. Tone Love BX. Right on. Glad to have you here. I haven't seen that name before, so welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday. All right. The clock hand is going to be right in here. Like so. And then there's these little things like this. Boom, boom, boom. And here. And maybe some little highlights. Like so. A little highlight here. And we're putting some whites in. Just because I need some little edge work going on in here. But I need a nice little chunk of this dark purpley. Not every dark is necessarily black, okay? Look at that. That's quite lovely. This is going to come down. Oops. This is... Hey! What did I do? Got a little something on there. Here we go. Nice. Look at that shadow. Now, that's not in the painting or a photo. This is... I feel like that looks much better. See, I just saved myself from doing a whole bunch of windows now. There we go. All right, two more questions, and yeah, Instagram wants me to shut it down, so let me go turn off Instagram. Bum bum bum. We're gonna close it, and I will stay on for a few more questions. See you guys over on Instagram. Goodbye. We're still over on YouTube. Bum bum bum. And let's unfreeze this camera. Too funny with the camera today. You know, it's been a good camera. Alright, so we've got some dynamic lighting going on here. And we've got some ambiance that's going on. Now, the key here is this is a vertical painting. Okay? And with a vertical painting, we need strong contrast. Those two things go together, friends. Strong vertical paintings have strong contrast, all right? It's getting us to look up and down, all right? So I'm liking what's going on here. This is probably maybe about 92% done. I will probably just get one of these little bum, bum, bum. I'll probably get one of these little finite brushes like this. From this one's by Cheap Joe's Lizard Lick. It's made in Spain. And this is Escoda that's made in Spain. Alright. You figure out that one. And I will put in some little small details, little things here. Over in this quadrant, doesn't need to be anything done in the shadows. What needs to be done is... we froze again. My goodness gracious. So silly. Wake up. So over here, we've got this wonderful thing going on. And I'll just do it because, you know, it's been freezing on us. So I'm really digging this quadrant. Okay? Because we're here. This is tall. Then it comes here. And it keeps coming here. This is drawing our attention. So I could stop you right here with one window or two, okay, and a half. Sure. And then I can maybe put a little boop there, all right, and there. But this is not where I want my attention to go too much. So maybe quiet that just a titch, okay. There. This is where I want you to end. That's what you've got to remember when you're doing a paintings, my friend. You've got to go, where am I leading my viewer? You can't leave them guessing. Your job is to take them, and what I'm gonna do is I thought I would put my own take on this. And sorry if you're having to hear the updates on the computer. But look at this. I'm going to put in this other window right there. Now, do you see you're looking right at that little spot? This is the wonderful thing about gouache, is I can now add some more here, like so. Okay? And let's put some of that sky color in there. We're going to put some sky color in here. Let's get some of that blue, because it's a reflection, right? Hey. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Nice. Now, this is my painting. I don't plan on painting anywhere else. Unless you want the painting. Great. The only reason you'd probably want this painting is because you gotta watch me paint it. It's typically what happens. Some of these times, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna probably sell it. I'm not selling this. And then someone's like, but I just got done watching you paint it for an hour. Can I buy it? Oh my goodness. Let's put a little shadow coming off of this. So there we go. We've got, it's 4 o'clock. Was 4 o'clock. And now we've got this going on. Where we got coming here. And maybe we've got all kinds of reds going on. But we don't have a true red. What happens if I put a true red here? Sometimes people hang stuff out their window. Oh, I can't quite see it. So, that's okay. Guess what we can do? We can take some of this white and put some highlights around it. You know, I'm just curious. What happens if we make that a green? Wow, it's not coming up on camera, but it looks really great in my opinion. It looks really great in my view. All right. Let's bring it home. I'm gonna fix and tighten up right here. There we go. Not necessarily fix, but oh, there it is. That's it. That's what I wanted. This is coming here. And let's do this right here. This is going to be a little bit warmer because it's closer to us. And some warm stuff right there. And it just did not show up on camera. Oh well. I'm not worried about what's on the camera. I'm worried about what's actually on my painting. So here you have it. We've got a tonal paper. The nice thing is, by using the tonal paper, friends, what's happening is we are having a very nice emotional painting here. By having a warm okay, as opposed to, look, here's white paper. Okay, there we go. We've got some white paper here. Holy cow. There. Now, we've got white paper and we've got tonal paper. The reason why I'd use the tonal paper is because it's creating more of an emotional feeling. And by having it being a vertical, and by having this nice darks and high contrast, creating something with some wonderful mood to it. All right. Well, I really appreciate you. I don't see any more comments. We got this by Chuck. I've got to go, but it's been fun. Thanks, Gabriel. I really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Oh, wait, what's this? Is this toned watercolor paper 140? Well, let's take a look. Best thing for me to do is to show you. So, Mueller watercolor paper and 295 pounds. Okay, it's a 95 pound, but you know what? I think it's just fine. It's not buckling on me. You know, look at that painting. This painting did not buckle on me. That painting definitely did not buckle on me. Okay, and this painting is not buckling. All right, so I think it being the 95 pound is fine. And there's all the information on there. And yeah, oh, it's my buddy Alex. That's his art on the cover there. All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful week. Keep those brushes wet. And we got Tone says cool. And we've got awesome. And we got thank you. And you're most welcome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Here's those other two one more time. Just noticed a couple more people just showed up. All right, take care. We'll see you later, and we will do another episode next week. Also, next week, watch for that new interview with David Poxon. Bye, Deb. Sally, you're so welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.